Their annoyances, dropped calls, no signals, texts that won't go through.
I've experienced a lot of that recently. Even that little SOS thing you get up in the corner of the screen. Many of our viewers are telling me that it's happening more often to them. In tonight's Question Everything, is cell phone service getting worse? And what can you do?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good, good. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. Good. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? A slogan that went viral before the phrase go viral went viral. Now, can you hear me at all is the question many are asking, including Cheryl Prescott, who says dropped calls are an everyday thing now.
I drop a lot of phone calls on my way home in Haverhill, and for no reason. It seems like I have a signal, and just the phone dies.
How frustrating is that?
Extremely.
I've been hearing from a lot of cell phone users who say the problem seems to be getting worse. And it's super frustrating, isn't it? You're talking to someone when all of a sudden the signal starts to break up, and now you're hearing other word. And sometimes you lose the call altogether mid. When I mentioned online that my service seemed to be getting worse, more than 100 people had the same complaint. Dead spots, dropped calls, no bars on the North Shore, South Shore, Metro West, and several in Andover. Which is where I brought my homemade can phone.
This is about the same as your cell phone coverage?
Yeah, it's a little clearer.
I had a little fun with Demetrius Spineas, but the owner of an Andover real estate company says an increase in dropped business calls has been no fun at all.
I'm seeing it quite a lot, and not just around this area, but in general, I'm seeing it quite a bit. Again, dropped calls, I'm seeing things going, picking up, there's no sound there, so I'm seeing a lot of issues, progressively more and more.
So a lot of people are telling us that they see their service getting worse. Why is that?
Technology expert Peter Tran says if you think your service has gotten worse, you're probably right.
It is absolutely possible for a number of reasons.
Tran says heavy rain can interfere with radio waves used by cell phones. Also, smoke from wildfires can absorb or reflect signals. But more consistent than smoke and rain is the ever-increasing cell traffic.
Because there's only a limited number of cell towers for an ever-growing amount of mobile devices.
There's about 350,000 cell sites in the U.S., which doesn't match the demand. How's that possible? Well, imagine the frequency band of a cell tower as a highway headed to the Cape. Now imagine your cell phone's radio signal as a car that's stuck trying to get over the Sagamore Bridge.
Just like you have car traffic or congestion that's going into one lane, is similar to that, where you have over 300 million cell phones in this country coming into just a limited amount of access to the towers.
So major carriers are spending billions to build more towers, and they're buying up larger frequency bands from the FCC. What does that mean? Well, let's go back to that traffic analogy. Carriers are basically opening new roads to get your phone signal to the tower more easily. Andrew Testa is a Verizon spokesperson and says the company's recent upgrades will make a huge difference.
Now we're able to take that 2-lane highway and make it a 20-lane. So we're talking about a ton of bandwidth. Customers are going to see massive amounts of faster data speeds to their mobile phones.
There are also a couple things that you can do to get the best service. First, always have the latest software update on your phone. And check your cell plan. Some plans, even unlimited plans, have a data limit. You can be speeding along, and then when you hit a cap, suddenly you go from the hare to the tortoise. You get slower data speeds with no idea that you even agreed to that.
So if you use up your allotment, and that's in the fine print of your plan, it throttles or takes back some of that access, and then you don't have that great of a cell signal or that great of a transmission.
I certainly learned a lot about cell towers over the past couple of weeks. It's sort of complicated, but a lot of these carriers are spending money to make it a little better. The FCC is sort of selling off some of these frequencies to allow more in. Maybe things will get better, but it was interesting to find out that it wasn't just people complaining. It's actually a thing that's happening.
Well, and it is surprising from the standpoint that you would think this was the most ubiquitous technology out there, that it would be at its best now when it has felt worse. So it was very easy to understand the way you described it, like traffic. understanding it doesn't make it any less frustrating.
That's right.
Hopefully there'll be more roads.
That's right. Hold on to those calls.
Yes.
If you have a question you'd like us to answer, send us an email, questioneverything@cbsboston.com, or you can pick up your cell phone. Give us a call.